The Elder Care Protection Bill has officially transitioned from a proposal to the law of the land, and it is vital that you understand exactly what this shift means for your daily life and your long-term security. This legislation represents one of the most significant overhauls of senior-related policy in decades, touching upon everything from your healthcare costs to the safety of the facilities where you or your loved ones might reside. At Golden Seniors Hub, we believe that staying informed is your first line of defense in a rapidly changing economic and political landscape. Many retirees are currently unaware of the specific provisions hidden within the hundreds of pages of this bill, but these changes are designed to address the very crises that have played out quietly in millions of American households for far too long. We are talking about concrete improvements in prescription drug negotiations, a more stable foundation for Social Security, and a massive push for accountability in the nursing home industry. However, it is crucial to remember that while the law has passed, the benefits are not always automatic. There are windows of opportunity and specific steps you must take to ensure you are receiving everything you are now entitled to under the law. We are here to break down these complex updates into plain English, stripping away the political spin and the confusing legal jargon so you can move forward with confidence and clarity. To understand why this bill is so historic, we have to look at where it came from. For a generation, seniors have been forced to navigate a system that often felt like it was working against them rather than for them. We have seen prescription drug prices soar to levels that defy logic, nursing homes operating with minimal oversight, and Social Security adjustments that failed to reflect the actual cost of groceries and medical care. These were not minor inconveniences. They were systemic failures that left hardworking Americans vulnerable. The Elder Care Protection Bill is a direct response to those failures, targeting the pillars that matter most to those over the age of 60: healthcare accessibility, housing stability, financial protection, and personal safety. One of the most talked about and immediate impacts of this legislation involves the reform of prescription drug pricing. If you are enrolled in Medicare, you are likely familiar with the frustration of seeing medication costs rise year after year. For decades, Medicare was legally barred from using its massive scale to negotiate lower prices with pharmaceutical manufacturers. This meant the largest purchaser of drugs in the country had its hands tied while private insurers and the Department of Veterans Affairs were free to bargain for better deals. The Elder Care Protection Bill changes this dynamic permanently. It authorizes Medicare to negotiate prices on a much wider array of medications and speeds up the timeline for when these lower prices must be implemented. This isn't just a win for the government's budget, it is a direct win for your wallet. If you are currently managing conditions like hypertension, diabetes, or chronic respiratory issues, the rolling schedule of price reductions means you could see significant savings at the pharmacy counter in the coming months and years. Furthermore, the bill establishes a hard cap on annual out-of-pocket drug costs. This creates a financial safety net, ensuring that no senior is ever forced to choose between life-saving medication and basic necessities like food or heating. This shift from a system of unlimited liability to one of protected caps is quite literally life-changing for millions. Parallel to these healthcare wins is the much-needed modernization of Social Security. For years, the formula used to calculate the annual cost of living adjustment, or COLA, has been a point of contention. The old formula tracked the spending of urban workers, focusing on things like gasoline and electronics. But seniors don't spend their money like 25-year-olds. Seniors spend a disproportionate amount of their income on healthcare, prescription drugs, and specialized in-home assistance. These categories historically rise in price much faster than the general rate of inflation. The Elder Care Protection Bill pushes for the transition to a more accurate inflation index that reflects the actual spending patterns of older Americans. This ensures that when you receive an adjustment, it actually helps you maintain your standard of living rather than leaving you further behind each year. Beyond the monthly check, the bill also addresses the long-term solvency of the Social Security Trust Fund. By adjusting the payroll tax cap for high earners, the legislation creates a more robust funding stream that aims to push back the threat of benefit depletion well into the future. This provides peace of mind not just for you, but for your children and grandchildren who will eventually rely on the same system. Shifting our focus to the physical safety of seniors, the bill introduces the most aggressive nursing home reforms in a generation. The reality is that understaffing and a lack of transparency have led to devastating cases of neglect across the country. Under the new law, any facility receiving federal funding is now subject to strict minimum staffing ratios. This means there must be a specific number of qualified caregivers on duty for every resident, ensuring that your loved ones receive the attention and dignity they deserve. The bill also replaces the old penalties of the past with substantial financial penalties for facilities that fail to meet safety and sanitation standards. If a facility repeatedly fails to protect its residents, it now faces the ultimate penalty, the loss of Medicare and Medicaid eligibility. This creates a powerful economic incentive for nursing homes to prioritize patient care over profit margins. To further empower families, the bill mandates that inspection reports and violation histories be made easily accessible to the public in a standardized format. You should never have to rely on a glossy brochure when making a decision about long-term care. You deserve the cold, hard facts about a facility's track record. Another critical component of the Elder Care Protection Bill is the fight against elder financial fraud. This silent epidemic drains billions of dollars from retirees every year through sophisticated scams ranging from fake government calls to complex investment fraud. The bill provides a dedicated stream of federal funding for the investigation and prosecution of these crimes, creating specialized units that understand the unique tactics used by predators. Crucially, the law also places more responsibility on financial institutions. Banks and credit unions are now equipped with better tools to flag suspicious activity in senior accounts, such as sudden large wire transfers or the unexpected addition of a new name to an account. By catching these red flags early, we can stop the bleeding before a senior's life savings are wiped out. The bill also funds nationwide education campaigns to ensure you are aware of the latest scamming trends, because an informed senior is the most difficult target for a con artist. Housing is another area where the bill makes a tangible difference. Most people want to age in place, staying in the homes where they have built their lives. However, many homes are not designed for limited mobility. The cost of installing ramps, widening doorways, or remodeling a bathroom for safety can be prohibitive. The Elder Care Protection Bill expands grants and low-interest loan programs specifically for these types of home modifications. By making these changes affordable, the law helps seniors remain independent for longer, avoiding the premature transition to assisted living facilities. The bill also recognizes the health risks associated with social isolation, which researchers have compared to the physical damage of heavy smoking. To combat this, the legislation invests in affordable senior housing developments that are designed to keep people connected to their communities and healthcare providers. Mental health access is also given the attention it deserves in this bill. Historically, finding a therapist who accepts Medicare has been a challenge due to low reimbursement rates. This bill raises those rates and expands the use of telehealth, allowing you to speak with a mental health professional from the privacy and comfort of your own home. Whether you are dealing with the loss of a spouse, chronic pain, or the stress of a major life transition, the bill acknowledges that your emotional well-being is just as important as your physical health. Furthermore, we must talk about the unsung heroes of our healthcare system, the 53 million unpaid family caregivers. These individuals often sacrifice their own careers and health to care for aging parents or spouses. The Elder Care Protection Bill introduces new tax credits to help these families offset the costs of caregiving and provides funding for professional training programs. This ensures that caregivers have the skills they need to provide safe care while also having access to respite services so they can rest and recharge. As we look deeper into the nuances of this legislation, it becomes clear that its reach is intended to be both broad and deep, affecting the structural foundations of how we treat aging in America. For far too long, the contributions of our senior population were met with policy and social indifference once they exited the active workforce. This bill changes that narrative by codifying the right to a safe, healthy, and financially stable retirement. The Medicare expansion efforts within the bill, while currently focused on hearing, vision, and dental subsidies, represent a critical foot in the door for a total integration of these essential services into standard coverage. We know that dental health is not just about a smile. It's about preventing systemic inflammation and heart disease. We know that hearing is not just about volume. It's about preventing the cognitive decline that stems from social withdrawal. By subsidizing hearing aids and creating pilot programs for dental clinics, this bill is finally treating the body as a whole unit, rather than a collection of parts that Medicare chooses to ignore. The economic implications are equally profound. By shifting the COLA index, the government is admitting that the previous metrics were insufficient. For a senior living on a fixed income, an extra $50 or $80 a month isn't just a number on a ledger. It's the difference between buying fresh produce or canned goods, or the ability to visit a grandchild without worrying about the cost of travel. When we look at the funding of Social Security, the bill's approach to the payroll tax cap is a pragmatic solution to a looming crisis. It ensures that those who have benefited the most from the American economy contribute a bit more to sustain the floor for everyone else. This isn't about redistribution. It's about fulfillment of a multi-generational promise that was made nearly a century ago. In the realm of nursing home care, the shift toward transparency is perhaps the most underrated part of the law. For years, nursing home corporations have been able to hide behind complex ownership structures and limited reporting requirements. The Elder Care Protection Bill forces these entities to reveal where every dollar of federal funding goes. If a facility is spending more on executive bonuses than on registered nurses, the public will now have the data to see that and vote with their feet. This transparency also extends to the quality of care. By making inspection reports easy to find and read, the bill empowers the children and grandchildren of seniors to be active advocates. No longer can a facility hide a history of citations behind a friendly receptionist and a nicely decorated lobby. The battle against fraud is also being taken to the digital age. Scammers are becoming more sophisticated, using artificial intelligence to mimic the voices of loved ones or creating perfectly forged government documents. This bill's investment in specialized anti-fraud units means that law enforcement will finally have the technological edge needed to track these transnational criminal networks. But as always, the most important part of the defense is you. The funding for public awareness means that more seniors will be equipped with the red flag knowledge needed to hang up the phone or delete the email. It turns the most vulnerable target into the most fortified one. When we talk about aging in place, we are talking about the preservation of dignity. The grants for home modifications are designed to be accessible through local community centers, ensuring that the money actually reaches the people who need it rather than getting lost in federal bureaucracy. Imagine a neighborhood where every home is equipped with a simple ramp and a walk-in shower. This doesn't just help the current occupant. It creates a housing stock that is sustainable for an aging society. It reduces the strain on our nursing homes and allows people to maintain the social ties that keep them mentally sharp and emotionally fulfilled. Beyond the immediate financial and physical benefits, the Elder Care Protection Bill also addresses the vital need for legal advocacy. Many seniors find themselves in situations where they need legal assistance to resolve issues with Medicare, fight an unfair eviction, or settle disputes regarding their estates, yet the cost of hiring a private attorney is often out of reach. This bill allocates significant new funding to legal aid organizations that specialize in elder law. This means that if you are being denied a benefit you earned, or if you are facing a complex legal challenge that threatens your housing or health, there are now more resources available to ensure you have an expert advocate in your corner. This democratization of legal help is a fundamental component of true protection, ensuring that the rights written into this law are actually enforceable for every senior, regardless of their bank account balance. The bill also places a heavy emphasis on community-based care models. We are seeing a transition away from the institutionalized approach of the past and toward a more integrated, local support system. Funding is being directed toward area agencies on aging to expand Meals on Wheels programs, senior centers, and local transportation services. These services are the lifeblood of independence. For a senior who no longer drives, a reliable local transit service isn't just a ride. It's a connection to the grocery store, the doctor's office, and the local library. By strengthening these community networks, the bill ensures that aging doesn't mean shrinking your world, but rather staying firmly planted in the community you helped build. Furthermore, we must consider the impact of this bill on rural seniors. Those living in less populated areas often face a double burden: fewer healthcare providers and greater distances to travel for essential services. The Elder Care Protection Bill includes specific provisions to bolster the rural healthcare infrastructure. This includes incentives for physicians and specialists to practice in underserved areas and a significant investment in broadband expansion to support the telehealth initiatives we mentioned earlier. This means that living in a small town should no longer mean receiving a lower standard of care. High-quality medical advice and mental health support are being brought directly to your doorstep, or more accurately, your computer screen, narrowing the gap between urban and rural quality of life. The legislation also takes a forward-looking approach to the issue of chronic disease management. Recognizing that the vast majority of healthcare spending for seniors goes toward managing ongoing conditions like heart disease and arthritis, the bill funds new wellness and preventative care initiatives. These programs are designed to help you stay healthy longer, with a focus on nutrition, physical activity, and early detection of potential health issues. By investing in prevention now, the bill aims to reduce the need for more expensive and invasive treatments later, which is a win for both your personal health and the sustainability of the Medicare system. As these changes roll out, it is more important than ever to stay vigilant. The pharmaceutical companies and understaffed care chains that benefit from the status quo will likely attempt to challenge these provisions in court or through lobbying efforts. Your best defense is to stay informed through trusted sources like Golden Seniors Hub. Be wary of anyone who calls you out of the blue asking for money to process your new benefits. Remember that legitimate government assistance is free. Check your status with your local Social Security office or a certified Medicare counselor to ensure you are taking advantage of every new protection and benefit this law provides. The Elder Care Protection Bill is a powerful signal that the needs of seniors are finally being prioritized. By understanding the details and taking proactive steps, you can ensure that this new law works for you, providing the security, dignity, and care you have earned through a lifetime of hard work. The road to passing this legislation was long, and the path to full implementation will require continuous oversight, but today represents a turning point for every American retiree. It is no longer acceptable for those who built this country to be left behind by its policies. Whether it is through the stabilization of your monthly income or the guarantee of better medical oversight, the goal is clear: a retirement that is defined by stability rather than uncertainty. We will continue to monitor every update and regulatory change that flows from this bill, ensuring that you have the most up-to-date information at your fingertips. Remember that your voice matters, and your participation in the process ensures that these protections remain strong for decades to come. Thank you for being a part of this community at Golden Seniors Hub. We are dedicated to providing the clarity you need in an increasingly complex world. Take a moment to review your current plans, speak with your family about these new opportunities, and stay tuned for more in-depth guides on how to navigate each specific section of the Elder Care Protection Bill. Together, we can ensure that this stage of life is met with the support and respect it truly deserves. Knowledge is power, and we are here to ensure you have it every single day. Subscribe to the channel for more updates and click the bell icon so you never miss a critical breakdown of the news that impacts your retirement and your future well-being. This bill is your bill, and your future is worth the effort of staying informed. Let's move forward together into this new era of protection and respect for all seniors across the nation. We are entering a phase where the dignity of aging is no longer an afterthought, but a central focus of national policy, and it is an honor to help you navigate this transition. Stay tuned, stay active, and most importantly, stay informed about the rights you now hold.